Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, verses 21 to the end. Etam bhukva svargalokam vishalam क्षीणे पुण्ये मर्त्यलोकं विशन्ति एवं त्रयी धर्ममनुप्रपन्नाः गतागतं कामकामा लभन्ते अनन्या चिन्तयन्तो मां ये जना पर्युपासते तेषां नित्याभियुक्तानां योगक्षेमं वहाम्यहम् येऽप्यन्यदेवता भक्ताः यजन्ते श्रद्धयान्विताः तेऽपि मामेव कौन्तेय यजन्त्यविधिपूर्वकम् अहं हि सर्वयज्ञानां भोक्ता च प्रभुरेव च न तु मामभिजानन्ति तत्तेनातश्च्यवन्ति ते यान्ति देवव्रता देवान् पितॄन् यान्ति पितुव्रताः भूतानि यान्ति भूतेज्याः यान्ति मद्याजिनोऽपि माम् पत्रं पुष्पं फलं तोयम् यो मे भक्त्या प्रयच्छति तदहं भक्त्युपहृतम् अश्नामि प्रयतात्मनः यत्करोषि यदश्नासि यज्जुहोषि ददासि यत्तपस्यसि कौन्तेय तत्कुरुष्व मदर्पणम् शुभाशुभफलैरेवम् मोक्ष्यसे कर्मबन्धनैः सन्न्यासयोगयुक्तात्मा विमुक्तो मामुपैष्यसि समोऽहं सर्वभूतेषु न मे द्वेष्योऽस्ति न प्रियः ये भजन्ति तु मां भक्त्या मयि तेषु चाप्यहम् अपि चेत् सुदुराचारः भजते मामनन्यभाक् साधुरेव समन्तव्यः सम्यक् व्यवसितो हि सः क्षिप्तं भवति धर्मात्मा शश्वच्छान्तिं निगच्छति कौन्तेय प्रतिजानीहि न मे भक्तः प्रणश्यति मां हि पार्थव्यपाश्रित्य पापयोनयः प्रियो वैश्याः तथा शूद्राः ते यान्ति परां गतिम् किं पुनर्ब्राह्मणाः पुण्याः भक्ता राजश्रयस्तथा अनित्यमसुखं लोकम् इमं प्राप्य भजस्व माम् मन्मना मम भक्तः मद्याजी मां नमस्कुरु मामैवैष्यसि युक्तैवम् आत्मानं मत्परायणः
सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। Verse 32. those who take refuge in me, O Partha, those sinful of birth, women, Vaishyas, even Shudras, they also attain the supreme goal. We have seen this to perform the Karmakanda portion of the Vedas. There is a qualification. Everyone will not be performing those things. Everyone cannot be performing those things. Because there are two basic qualifications are needed. The first one is referred as the Artitvam. Person should have that desire to perform. Some desire should be there. A popular example we give is King Dasharatha wanted to have a child. So, he performed Putra Kameshti Yaga. Everyone is not going to be performing Putra Kameshti Yaga. Dhritarashtra is not going to perform Putra Kameshti Yaga. He had 100 already with him. Why he has to perform Putra Kameshti? Or Vasudeva. Right? He is not going to perform. Sudama is not going to perform Putra Kameshti. Why? Because they already have it. This desire is not there for them. So, to practice certain rituals or for certain actions, for certain aspects of life, you need discipline. What is a discipline needed? What is required? First requirement, they said, Artitvam is needed. A person should have that desire to perform it. The second one is this, Dakshitvam is needed. The qualification is needed. Everyone is not an Adhikari. Everyone is not qualified. I remember Kritika was carrying. She went, for her delivery, she has to go to her parents' place. So she went there. After reaching there, she has to go for a normal checkup. So for the normal checkup, she was taken by her parents to a doctor there. There they took one scan. So the doctor referred a scan. So she went to do a scan. And then the drama started. Then there is a call came from from her from there. Then I had to rush. What happened? All this. So then I had to take the scan report. I said, give me the scan report. They were not having the scan report with them. So I had to go to the hospital and ask them to give me the scan report. So they gave the scan report. I took the scan report and went to another doctor who was known to us. Of course, it's not in the same city. Another city I had to go. From Tiruvarur, I had to go to Tanjore for that. So in Tanjore I went. I already spoken over phone and all that. She said, anyway, you bring the scan, we will see that and then we will discuss. So I took the scan to her. She didn't even look at the scan. She just saw a signature. Who has signed? Or, someone who has to sign, no? She took that, said, sir, you can sue these people. You can file a case on them if you want. I said, what? Why should I file a case on them? Because this guy is not qualified to perform the scan. He has performed a scan and he has given a report. Based on the report, this doctor is going to give you a course of medication. How How can the scan center can do that? How can that clinic allow this person to do the scan? Now we say, can anyone take scan? Scan is what? You just have to go and lie down. They take a picture and then the picture will come like X-ray. Can anyone do it? Everyone is qualified? Immediately we say, no. There are people who are specialists. Only they are qualified. So in the world of our transactions, we see these two things. For a person to be practicing certain things, first requirement is he must have that passion. That desire should be there to pursue anything in the world. There should be a desire for that. Desire by itself is not sufficient enough. They need qualification also. Everyone is not. Both are needed. So suddenly you hear Bhakti Yoga, Raja Vidya Raja Guhya Yoga, royal secret. What is the royal secret of the spiritual path? That is what he is explaining here in this verse. This is the secret. What is the secret? Arjuna, when you come to the spiritual path, in the path of bhakti, your adhikaritvam, your qualification is only one thing. There are not two here. There's only one qualification. What is the qualification? You have that artitvam, that's all. Do you have desire? Do you have desire for God? That's all. Dakshitvam is not needed here. It is irrelevant. As far as path of devotion is concerned, qualification is irrelevant. Everyone is qualified or no one is qualified. Only two chances are here. Either you have to take a stand stating everybody is qualified for that bhakti, or no one is qualified for bhakti. There is no such thing as few are qualified, few are not qualified. This is the Raja Vidya, this is the Raja Guhya. See, this you have to understand after going through the last two classes. We are stuck in the same verse for the last two classes. See, again and again, what is he saying? What is he saying? What is he saying? What is he saying? So much of analysis, so much of reasoning, so much of justification. Still, we don't feel fully satisfied. We don't feel just justified. Why? How much ever we say, we will not understand. What is he saying? What is he saying? This is called Raja Vidya. What is the secret, sir? The secret is, in this field, everyone is equally qualified. There is no difference. A pure soul, such as Sukha Brahma, is qualified. Also, a person who is such a sinful, low, as Valmiki, also qualified. Because if I say Ratnakar, most of you may not know who that person is. His original name was Ratnakar. Ratnakar is also qualified, and such a pure soul as Sukha is also qualified. Sukha Brahma also qualified, Ratnakar also qualified. Sir, you should tell in Tamil Nadu, This qualification exam is creating a big problem there, called NEET exam for medical. See, there is one area where everybody is qualified. If you say that I wanted to study the Vedas, right, then there is qualification. Everyone is not qualified. Everyone can't be performing yajnas. Everyone can't do it. Can everyone go and wield weapons? No, everyone is not qualified. Even today, for a police constable, what do we give? Highest weapon he can carry with him is what? Lati. That's the only thing he can carry. He cannot carry anything else. Even a foot soldier will be carrying AK-47. Army. Isn't it? Qualification. What is the weapons that is accessible to a commando? It's not accessible to a foot soldier. It's not given. Qualification is needed. Isn't it? But who is the head of the country now? Everyone is qualified. The one to become an army is not. But the one who is going to be having the power over all the three, all that he requires is what? You should be a sane person, that's all. You should be a major, sane. You should have been, you should be born in India. That's all the qualification is. Otherwise, everything else is not it. You can't call these things as qualifications. Exactly like that. Krishna here, he says, look here, man, if you have to come to the path of devotion in the specific context, if you take it in the liberal context, we say to study Vedanta, what is a qualification needed? Thank God Krishna had said this. If Krishna has not stated this, the only qualification is what? You have to go and tell the Guru that I want to learn Vedanta. That's all you have to say. Everything else is not. Nothing matters. Whether you are young or old, this, that, all that, whatever we believe to be qualifications, he says, all that is not. They are irrelevant. To give that irrelevant, he has to specify what? He has to say that no. Dictionary is a good book or bad book? Dictionary, is it good or bad? How do you say good book or bad book? All bad words are where to be there means it's a bad book. Good book means all good words should be there. Dictionary has bad words also, no? Isn't it? And they give you more options. If you go to the thesaurus, it gives you more options. Better words are there, man. Means what? Even in bad words, there are better bad words. So we say, what is this? How can a refined book, fantastic book, such as the dictionary, carry such bad words? So what are we supposed to do? Delete all bad words from dictionary. Then you have not understood the context of dictionary. In dictionary, it will define even bad words. And as far as the dictionary is concerned, it doesn't matter whether it is a good word or a bad word. It is a word. I will explain. That's all it is. Same way, when you come to these books, always you will find certain phrases, certain statements which are not appropriate from our angle. But as far as the book is concerned, it doesn't make any difference. So you have to keep these two things together and then see the verse. For those who take refuge in me, O Partha, though of sinful birth, women, Vaishyas, even Shudras, they also attain. They also attain the Supreme Good. That's the verse 32. We move to 33. Kim punah brahmana punyaha bhakta rajashayastata anityamasukam lokam imam prapya bhajasvamam. How much more and holy Brahmins and devout royal sages, having reached this transient, joyless world, you worship me. Now, what he is saying is, if people with so much of disadvantages that we have seen earlier, meaning he is referring to people who are agitated, people who are passive, people who are tamasic, people who are rajasic in nature, etc. If those people were able to achieve, then what about people who have a advantage? Even the disadvantaged people can reach. Means how much it would be for what it would be for a person who has that qualification also. Actually, as far as the Lord is concerned, he is not worried about qualifications. That's what he has stated. But then, from a seeker's point of view, when you see, one person is not qualified, but he has desire. Another person has desire plus qualification. Who will attain easily? Who will attain first? That's what he says here. These people who have exactly like how we address all the students. Say, why do you have to study hard? Why do you have to qualify yourself? Then that fellow will say, Sir, Dhirubhai Ambani, is he qualified? In which university Shakespeare got his M.Ed, MA English literature? He didn't. What about Thomas Alva Edison? What about this person? What about that person? We'll give 101 reasons. 101 examples can be given in every field of achievement. Every field of pursuit, you will always find people who have not got any formal training, but achieved the heights. Therefore, are you going to go and tell the students, you be like Dhirubhai Ambani? But then the next question we will ask is, if Dhirubhai Ambani were to believe in that philosophy, then why he sent both his kids for higher education? Both of them studied abroad, no? Harvard, Oxford, Cambridge, I don't know, wherever they went. I'm just saying, I have no idea. But they all got MBA degrees. Both of them got MBA. If he believed this is not, then why did he do that? Hmm? Tendulkar didn't even pass 10th standard. Therefore, what I am going to do? Huh? What is the education qualification of Maradona? Engineering, medical, MBA, nothing. But then the height that he had reached. But then why we sent them here? Look here. Those people are exceptions. They are not the rule. Because the moment we say a rule, there can never be a rule without exception. Then it's not a rule. Remember that. A law means there is always exceptions to it. A rule means there is always exception to it. This is the rule, sir. Exception. No vehicle should jump red signal. Rule. Exception. Ambulance is exception. Immediately. Now you cannot say flat. All same. Impossible. You can never make a rule like that. Exceptions is included in this. Always exceptions will stand out. See, exceptions always will outshine. But then exceptions cannot be created. Exceptions cannot be made as a rule, remember. You cannot create Ambani, the Dhirubhai Ambani I am saying. That is impossible. What all that fellow did is unbelievable. I am not saying good, bad and all that. That's all, business sense, I am saying. But then we have this, can you make him? Not possible. So, what do we tell the kids there? What do we tell the student? We say, look here, you may have that inner qualifications, individual qualifications, but then when you have an educational qualification with the formal training, your head start is going to be different. That's all. There is no guarantee. Remember this. That doesn't mean if you have studied in IIT doesn't mean you are going to become IIM. Doesn't mean you are going to become Indian Institute of Science. You are going to. There's no guarantee. But then the head start, if you cut across all those people at the same level, the head start for a person who has completed his graduation from IIM is different from a person who has started, passed out of Bangalore University. Bangalore University also gives the certificate. PGDB certificate is given here, which we call as MBA. IIM also gives, but the head start is different. Right? After that, it is personal, purely personal. After that, what he is going to do is how the whole thing is going to be. But the head start is advantageous. That's all here. So when he says how much more, he says what he is referring to is the head start. These people will have, that's what is referred as punya. Punya. What is that punya? You have a lot of punya in your account. Your starting point is better. That's about it. That is no guarantee that you will arrive at. That is not guaranteed. But definitely there is an advantage of a person who is starting early. he stands. It is something like that. So if the disadvantaged people can reach, how easy it would be for a qualified, determined seekers is what is referred here by holy Brahmins and royal sages. Punyaha and devote. Bhakta. What is that? Is referring to two things. What are the two aspects of it? Qualified and determined. The qualification is the punya that you have, and the bhakta is the devote, means the person who is determined to seek. Then we have to go into, he gives examples again here for those two. What is the example? First one he gives is Brahmana and royal sages. Rajarsha means Raja Rishi. The rishis who were kings. In rishis also there are various types of rishis. Okay, it's just a rishi. Then you have this Raja Rishi. Then you have Deva Rishi. And you have Brahma Rishi. These are various, you can call it as levels, or you can call it as, the different types, however, but there are different. In that he says that Raja Rishis have that, royal sages. Royal sages means, now today if you ask people, would you like to be a Raja Rishi or you would like to be a Brahmana? People will say Raja Rishi is better. Right? Because kingly life. The kings. Raja Rishis. Raja Rishi means those who are materially fulfilled and spiritually inclined. It's a material fulfillment. They have material fulfillment means they have a tremendous surplus material. I get disgusted with that material, almost like. See, you get bored with it. That much of comfort. Material comfort is so much so. That's called a Raja, means king. Kings means that. They live a life of that. Heights. Nothing will excite them, material. Anything you give to those people, it will not interest them at all. They'll just take it as a matter of fact. See? Like what we have been highly criticized of that queen, during the French Revolution time. She's supposed to have said this, we don't know, but authenticity, but it is the statement of a very, very popular one. When she was reported, people are not having bread to eat. She shot back saying, let them have cakes. If bread is not there, eat cake, no. See, now, what she cannot understand is, cake is superior. Buying a cake, you need more money. To buy bread, you don't need that much of money. The person who is not having money to buy bread, where is he going to have money to buy cakes? All this will not occur to them. It will not strike. Because she can't even understand that. Don't say she is dumb. Okay. No, she is illiterate. It is not illiteracy. See, like that it is. You just cannot understand. Nothing will excite them. Give them the best of clothes. saturate it. Give them the best of, cars. Saturate it. Saturate it. That saturate. Anything you give, saturate it. That is called Raja. And then couple that with Rishihood also. What is the Rishihood? Means the person who is having that inclination to spiritual path. He is still interested. And remember, this status cannot be acquired. Remember this. Now you can't say, okay, sir, I will start working, I will earn so much, I will also become a king, and then I will also become Raja. You cannot strive and get it. See, so you don't aspire to become Raja Rishiyala. You have to be born. If you are not born Raja Rishi, forget it. And our point will be what? Sir, next Janma will I become a Raja Rishi? Now, why do you want to become a Raja Rishi? You are not interested in the Rishihood. You are interested is not even the kinghood. Because you are not even interested in that saturation. Because you feel your appetite for material is insatiable. Better. Anything. When the whole world is having iPhone 4, imagine you carrying iPhone 13. Now everyone is having iPhone 13, no? Huh? Imagine you are carrying iPhone 25. When the whole world is having Nokia 1080. You are carrying iPhone 13, 5G technology. Will be what? In 2000, if you were to be carrying iPhone 13 with 5G technology, how will that be? How will that be? It will be useless. Isn't it? Because there was no such thing called nano SIM at that time. The technology was not there. SIM card for them to get in those days. Now we are going to syncing that with digital SIM, sir. Now they say SIM card, nano SIM. Now who will use? All that primitive people use nano SIM. We use what? We use digital SIM now. Now imagine that your phone can only take digital SIM and the whole world is working with Ericsson. You remember that company? Motorola, Nokia. What is it? Nokia? 1080. Everybody 1080. That's the highest phone. Imagine you carrying that. It's of no use. Exactly like today, if you were to be carrying a pager, imagine you are carrying a pager today and asking, I want to send a message through pager. How do I send a message through pager if you ask today? This is also useless. This is useless because you are below. That is useless because you are far above. That is called Raja. That is what is referred by materially fulfilled person. Because he has tasted that opulence to such heights. Imagine to give bath you have 15 people. Imagine, no? You have to be taken to give bath. Can't you just go and have bath and come out? No. This kingly life. All this when you read, when you hear, you imagine what? How it would be for me also like that. That means you are a patient. If 15 people have to take you to give bath to you, means you are a patient. How can you have an active life then? But that's opulence. That is what is referred as materially fulfilled. Nothing worldly. And people are talking and praising. Imagine all the great poets were writing poetries in praise of you. Harshvardhan story. Picture is painted. Why? Because he is a patronage. You patronize those people. So they write, and then painters, they come and paint you. They say, you stand, sir, we'll paint you. We'll paint you. And they are waiting for you to be painted. Sculptures, this, foreign delegates, this one, that one. Everywhere you go, the whole world is talking about you. This is there. All that is there. You feel what? Nothing will excite you after that. Name, fame, power, position, status, money, recognition, attention, affection, this, that, anything you think of, all that reached to its satiation. That is called Raja. That person to have a spiritual inclination, that is the catch. That's why in this olden days only you have such examples. You see, you have to search for Rajarishi example, means immediately we go before Krishna only. Before Bhagavad Gita. Janaka, the king Raghu, the king Ikshvaku. Those are the people we give as Rajarishi example. Now today if you are going to be searching for a Rajarishi, don't, you are making a mistake. Same way, you would be making a mistake if you go in search of a Brahmana also. Both these categories are extinct. They don't exist anymore. Okay. What we call it as cross-belt. This cross-belt is not treated as Brahmin place. Because it's not there. See, that group is not existing. See, now to search for a Rajarishi, and if you want to search for a Brahmana today, you will not find. So don't take it like that, please. What he is referring to is the qualification. What is the qualification? A person who is materially satisfied, also inclined. One person. Then, what is this example now? That's Brahmana example. Is a person who lives in, he is so satisfied. Opposite of Raja. He is so saturated with prosperity, means this guy is totally satisfied with poverty. Now what do you do with him? Can you find anyone who is satisfied with poverty? Who takes pride living poor? By choice living poor? See, now today people are living in poverty. There are so much is there. The human population if you take, millions of people are there under poverty line. Are they satisfied with that? Have they chosen to live? No. They cannot they don't know how to get out of that. First opportunity given to them, they will get out of it. Now, Brahmana is one who is satisfied with poverty. Don't take it as complacency immediately. You will take it as satisfaction is different. Complacency is different. Complacency is tamas. That is not what we are referring here. He is qualified to get out of it anytime. He has that power with him. That's where they give, in the Puranas, they give examples of people who lived in utter poverty. And they don't even register that they are living in poverty. Exactly like that Raja Rishi, that person doesn't register that he is living in luxury, opulence. He doesn't even register that. Same way, this person also doesn't even register that he is living in poverty. So he gives two examples, extreme examples. That's what is given here as Brahmana and Rajarishi. What is that? External, both are external. External material fulfillment. Material in the sense all. Don't take it as only visible, money wise. That's why I said recognition. This, that, everything is to the peak to one person. Everything is to the lowest to another person. Example, Brahmana. Example, Raja. With that condition, a person to have an inclination for spiritual. In that condition, the person to go for seeking is the example here. Otherwise, there is no such thing. So, if you understand, it is very, very interesting. Now, here we are not discussing the Varna Dharma, please. Varnashrama is not what is referred here. Now, people immediately take it as, because in the previous verse he referred as, Kshatriyas, the Vaishyas and Shudras, and this verse he is referring to Brahmanas and Rajarishis. Rajas were who only Kshatriyas. So, Krishna is referring to Brahmanas and Kshatriyas are having an advantage, Vaishyas and Shudras are not having advantage. In a way, you can say yes. But that is not what is referred here. What is referred is, this is the dimension referred. A person to have that devotion, a person to have that inclination to go to God, to be dependent on God, to have an interest, to have the capacity to melt in the thought of God. Your mind should be melting in the thought of God. That's called bhakti. If that melting is not happening, that's what he says. Nekkuruhi, he says. Nekkuruhi means it's not English. This is Tamil nek. Nekkuruhi says what is referring to is the bone should be melting, he says. The bone should be, because in the human body, the one which is solid, no flexibility at all, is the bone. Right? He says that should be melting. That is bhakti, he says. Fantastic music, song. Papanasam Shivanai. Melts it. The song itself is a melting point only. That is bhakti. Now, when you are in such poverty, how can you live thinking of God? First priority of yours will be what? How to get out of that? Same way, when you are living with such opulence, the chances of you to get more arrogant and more dictatorship is the only chance. Such a person to become humble, to say that I am nothing, you are everything. That is amazing. That's why the Christian prayer is so interesting, because the same prayer has to be said by a beggar in the street, also the king. Both are have to say. The Lord be praised. And we are grateful for the bread that we have got today because of your grace. How can a king has to say that? The beggar can say, correct. You guys are, somehow I got man today, thanks. He can say. Why should the king say that? The bread factory owner he is. He is the one who is manufacturing it. And then he says, thank God for giving it. What are you thanking? Beautiful prayer. Both have to say this. That's what he is referring here as Raja Rishi and Brahmana. And remember the classifications along all that. What you need to understand is, you take it as in the Varnas, right? What we need to recognize is, we live in a group. Humans are not living in isolation. Humans are not living in individual strength. We live collective strength. Collection. Social. When we are living in the society, now everyone should be contributing. Everyone should be bringing something on the table. Everyone should contribute. Every group should have a utility. Every individual should have a utility. If a person is not having any utility, they become a burden to the society. The society may willingly take care of them. That is a different thing. But there has to be a group, even to take care of these people who are not having any utility. Right? Like people who are mentally challenged. What about those people, sir? Destitutes. What about them? Someone has to take care, no? Now you can't go to those people and say, okay, what about kids? Child. What is the value addition of a child? There's no utility. But it has to be taken care of. At least a child we can say, sir, today we feed it, tomorrow he will feed me. There is an understanding. You say, now I feed, then you feed. Problem. That is having utility there. But what about these people? There's no utility. You cannot run a society without having everyone contributing. When it comes to people who are contributing in terms of labor, direct utility is there. Isn't it? It's a direct value addition. Imagine there is no laborers. What will happen? Laborers in the sense working class, right? All salaried class. Imagine there is no such thing called salaried class only. I'm not talking about only the maid servant coming to your house, please. If maid is coming to your house and working, what are you doing? You are going to your office and working. So you are a labor there, he is a labor here. Both are labor class only. Remember that. It has got nothing to do with your bank balance. Now immediately we think, laborers, immediately we think all those people who are all doing that, mechanic job, working in the factory labor. We are not referring to that. Even the floor man, labor. The general manager, labor. Everyone there is a labor. Why? You are working for physical laboring. You are doing. You are working and earning. You give your efforts for a price. That is called labor. Remember, for a price when you do, it's called labor. These fellows, ask us to call. They call us and ask, sir, how is our service? Are you satisfied with our service? The car company, they called. Are you satisfied with our service? How do you rate our service? I say, when did you do service? Sir, yesterday. Because she is the one who entered. Like car, you give it for servicing. She called back and said, can you rate us? I said, are you doing service first of all? Sir, we are doing, no? I said, service means without giving me bill, you should do the job. That's called service. Huh? Before even taking my car, you have given me the bill. Sir, this is this cost, this is this cost, this is this cost, this is this cost. I told them I have given to service my car, not to buy a car. I don't want to buy it, I just want to service. Service means what? And then they are asking, how do you rate your service? Labor. Call yourself as laborers. Why? That is called a labor. Means this. That doesn't mean there is no value addition of them. Isn't it? Without them, can you have a car? Not possible. You see. So there is a utility. Correct? So the car is manufactured where? Somewhere manufactured. Somebody has to bring that to the showroom, and there has to be a person who is running that showroom. I should have the access to go and reach to the showroom, and I give that money to him and he gives the car to me. Imagine another person gives money to me. Can I give him the car? I can't do that. And you say, okay, Ishwaran, I'll give you 10 lakhs. Can you give me a car now? What I will do, I will go there and buy from him and give it to you only. I will buy from him for 9 lakhs, give it to you for 10 lakhs. I will take that 1 lakh. But without me, can you get a car? Not possible. So there has to be a person who has to be standing as a distributor, taking from the producer, reaching it to the consumer, because a producer cannot be reaching directly to the consumer. There has to be a mediator in between. There has to be someone transporting it, taking it from there and bringing it here. How are you going to get it? So it is not possible, sir. Correct. Windshield in the car is broken. Who's manufacturing? Manufacturer is factory is where? That is in Chennai. We have to go there. Saint Gobain factory is there. You have to go. Take your car to the factory, get it fitted and bring. Can you do that? Every time you wanted to buy everything, we can talk about buying from the farmer directly. So procuring from the farmer directly is cheap, sir, than to buy from the these fellows, because they make money more than the farmer actually. Can you make that equation for everything? Not possible. Once the society starts growing, consumer cannot be reaching to the producer directly all the time. Someone has to bring from the producer and bring it to the consumer. Then it has to come here. Therefore, there is another class needed. Utility. In the bargain, what will happen? There is a problem now. The problem is, one fellow is producing salt, another fellow is producing rice. Both are producers only. A consumer will buy how much salt you put for cooking, how much rice you use for cooking one lunch. Even then, one full bowl of rice, okay, how much of vegetables you buy? This is 2 bowls of vegetable buy, and in that how much salt you will add? Another bowl. How much you will be needing? Then what happens? Everyone were to be producing only rice. Sir, what is needed? Maximum to the thing is only rice. Everybody produces only rice. Nobody is buying salt. What will happen then? Only one fellow will produce salt. And no one can eat without salt. So what to do? You have to go to that fellow. And that fellow says what? You want that? No, I decide the price. 1 spoon of salt is 500 rupees. Take it or leave it. What will happen? There is the balancing of all this transactions needs to be monitored. If it is not monitored, what will become the law? Whoever has the brute strength becomes the one who is exploiting the others. With brute strength, a person can exploit the other. Therefore, you need someone to have a check on all these things. There is a utility. Okay. Now, in between this Brahmana, what is his utility? What is this fellow doing now? This fellow is studying Vedas. Okay. And then chanting the Vedas. Okay. Then teaching the Vedas. Okay. Then there are so many societies which doesn't even know the existence of Vedas, no? Australia. Does anyone know Vedas there in Australia? Did anyone knew about the Vedas in United States? Nobody knew. Didn't they grow? Sir, what is the utility of these fellows? Immediately we'll say what? Sir, Brahmana means not only studying the Vedas. Brahmana means all studies. Even scientists also Brahmana only. But the fellow is working. Which means what is he? He's drawing salary, monthly salary. If you are drawing, what are you? Brahmana. By definition, what are you? Labor. Shudra only. What are you then? What is their contribution? For all practical purpose, you will not see any fruitful direct contribution of theirs for the society. Directly, there is no value of this. That is why today you don't find that society, that group existing. Why? Because everything is assessed today based on the utility, value of it, returns. A Brahmana means a person who has the capacity to slog right through his life without looking for any utility, without having any connection to what he is doing, in what way that is helping him, in what way that is helping the society. both he doesn't know. Both there is no clarity. But tremendous commitment. He is giving his full life for that purpose. Such a qualification is a necessity if you say, I am going to be pursuing God. Otherwise, you cannot pursue God. For this only all the story. The whole build-up is only for this. See, to pursue God, what is needed? First of all, there is no proof of existence of God only. What is a proof? Is there any proof there is something called heaven, hell? No proof. Indications are there, but it is only in intelligent conclusions. That's about it. There is no proof for that. Is there a thing called, can you gauge it, sir? No. There is Brahman, there is Atman. How do you? There is a proof for that? There is no proof for that. Is it guaranteed that you will get realization? No guarantee. But you have to pursue. You have to slog. You have to give everything that you have for the sake of realization. See, Raja Rishi is one who cannot be tempted with anything from the world. That's the Raja qualification. Another qualification needed for this is why we are not able to pursue the God consistently is because we get tempted by the attractions of the world. Now this guy cannot be tempted. For him to pursue God will be easier, no? Nothing you show him, he will not get tempted. Easier for him. Same way, there is another aspect is also there. Another aspect here is the capacity to commit and give everything that you have for the sake of something which can never be giving any guarantee or utility. Okay, you have understood. So, okay, you have studied. Okay, so what? So what of it? That's why today you go and ask all these, priests who are studying in the pathshalas. Those boys are having real problem, No girl is willing to marry them. You know that? From the same community. Forget about other communities. The same community, they are not willing to give. And you know what? In that same community, a person who is having a daughter he is a Purohit, he is doing all these things, he has a daughter, why can't you give your daughter to another Purohit boy? The person who had studied from the Vedic school, why don't you give it to him? He says, lesser. Why? There's no... Alamana. He's telling me. I was trying to, connect. I was speaking to them. So I said, no, why don't you look out? This person is there. No, why don't you see? You're also having the same one. So, as a family, it will become much, more solid. That is not needed. I said, why that's not needed? Nobody wants to give. See? It is a miracle. If they get married, it's a miracle. Why? Utility. Okay, you have studied. Can you believe a person who had studied a subject for 12 years? This expertise, studying 12 years, you have no idea. Full time. I have studied only for 3 years. All you people are thinking I am such a great person. Sir, you have so much of knowledge. He has completed 12 years. What would be his expertise compared to this? Allah, correct, sir. But the engineer, doctor are the better. Doctor is much better, ideally. Engineer, okay. MBA, fine, it's okay. You can see finance, okay. I say MBA HR, HR kuda ma. Why? This don't even discuss. This part of it don't even discuss. Why? Utility. Today the whole world is moving on utility. And if you have to come to spiritual path, what is needed? You must have the courage and conviction and capacity in you to plunge into something where you will never see the use of it. No guarantee. Nothing. But you have to stake everything that you have. That's a Brahmana, he says. He's not talking about a class of people. See, he's talking about a quality. The quality is the capacity to pursue something right through his life without having any utility attitude. Continue to live a satisfied life with poverty. One person. Another person can never be tempted with anything from the world, committed to the pursuit. How easy it would be for those two fellows to get spiritual path, enlightenment. That is what he said. Right? And this is the first line. Coming to the second line, Anityam Asukam Lokam. Says this loka, this world. Loka means the realm of experience. This world, what we are experiencing. This world is of the nature of what? Asukam and Anityam. This is the nature of the world. Asukam means what? Joyless. Joyless world. Now, many have misunderstood this term. Asukam. See, joyless doesn't mean joyless. It means less joy. Okay. Don't take it as joyless. Asukam is not joyless. Because that's not your experience, no. Do you believe the world is having no joy? Yes, sir. There is joy, no? You have ice cream, there is joy, no? Vanilla ice cream with Alfonso mango. With vanilla ice cream. Only allowed are there. Ilya. There is joy, no? You go and ask a person who is smoking cigarette. Ask him, don't you have any joy? He say, Adala illa Ishwar. Of course. Anityam I understand. Says, Anityam we understand. Anityam all of us understand because none of us say joy is permanent in the world. Our understanding says the joy is temporary. That is why there is so much of rush to get the joy. Remember this. Why are you rushing to it? This is the reason. Black Friday sale. What do? Amazon, you say, what is that? Some festival they have. For 3 days only. What happens? This offer is only for 3 days. We have to buy within the 3 days. Imagine the offer is there for 365 days. What do? Big deal. We'll see later. One fellow asked, why are Indians are so lazy? I said, for Western side is they are very dynamic. We are, chalte attitude we have, chalega, no hurry at all for us. That too Bangalore, that's why I chose Bangalore. But the tragedy is after I came here, Bangalore also became like, Bombay. I don't want Bombay, therefore I came here. That we call as, your karma is like that. What is this? Retirement's paradise. That's what we were. You are going to retirement's paradise? I said, that's the place I want to start my career. My career starts from retirement. Aram se. So the fellow asked, why are they like that? I said, obviously, man, because for us time is infinite. Janma after Janma after Janma after Janma after Janma is there, no. But for you fellows, not like that. One Janma only, one chance. All that you can, understand, achieve, enjoy, everything has to be compressed within that one lifetime. That's it. No second chance. We have any number of chances he will give. Come back, enjoy. We'll see later. This is the reason. Anityam. Because the world is of the nature of Anityam, what are you doing? You understand that. It's not that you don't know this. You don't need Krishna to come and tell you. The world is Anityam, man. Of course you know. You yourself is Anityam. Don't you know that? Don't you know that you are going to die one day? Anityam? Of course. Anityam, of course. Everyone who is born has to die. This is what you tell the neighbor. This is what you tell those people in the street outside, there. You go there for, then what do you go and tell? What do you say? Why? You know that. But what you don't understand is, because it is Anityam nature, is where the problem is. What is the problem? The mind rushes to grab as much as possible before it leaves. Before it disappears, let me grab it. In the rush, it loses the whole thing. It never understands that. That is what he says. Anityam asukam lokam. The world is transient and joyless. Understand that. Recognize that. Having reached, having understood, having fixed on this idea, this joyless world. Joyless world means what? Not that there is no joy at all in the world. There is only pain. If there is only pain, you don't require any master to come and tell you. By now, you would have jumped out. Right? If pain means everyone will jump out now. The problem is, it's not only pain. There is joy. And the problem is what? The joy is less here. And that less joy also stands for a less period of time. As it is less. Anything that is less always will have a demand more. Isn't it? That is the law of economics. Less the supply, more the demand. That is why CA, they fix. There may be, 10 lakh fellows can write the exam. They fix. This is the number of CAs we require for the market. We have fixed already that there is going to be 2,500 fellows passing. We don't care how many people are writing. Only 2,500 will pass. Full stop. Fixed. Imagine 10 lakhs. Imagine there are 50 lakhs of doctors available. That's why today there is no great value for MBA. About 15-20 years back, MBA had a tremendous value. Today you ask the students, what is MBA? I say, not a great value, sir. Guaranteed. If you do MBA, it means you are guaranteed job. A good job. Today, unless you do it from a premier institution, it's of no value. What is it then? Why? Limited number. That is what is referred by asukam. Asukam is not non, less. Remember, has two meanings. You see, one is non, another one is less. So, asukam, when he says the joy that you are experiencing in the world is inadequate to your demand. That is the meaning of asukam. How much ever joy that is it adequate? Is it enough for you? It is not enough. The joy the world can offer to you is not enough for yours. How much puff rice you have to give to satiate the hunger of an elephant? Yana pasiki sola puri, they say. How much you will give? You have to keep feeding them like mad actually. How much you will give? Not enough for that. Why? That's the size of it. What is that you are asking for? You are asking for infinite joy. Your demand is infinite joy. The world can supply only finite joy. Therefore, it is less joy. Therefore, he calls it as joyless. It is less than what you demand, no? Therefore, it is inadequate. Therefore, we come to conclusion, the world is asukam. And then what is it? Not only it is asukam, it is also anityam. At least, less can be said, but the less will be there with you always. Once you get it, it will not go, man, it will be with you. Means you will be okay with it. Our problem is what? You compromise and say, okay, man, I compromise and negotiation happens between you and world. See, I want infinite, you can only offer finite, then tremendous negotiation. You say, no, increase little more. How much I asked, what much you are giving. All that negotiation happens and the world says, okay, I'll give you this much, take it. Okay, take 100 crores. Happy? But this 100 crores will be there with you for one day. It will be in your bank account for one day. Tomorrow morning, today morning 6 o'clock, it will be credited to your account. Tomorrow morning, into any account you credit, you can't say from this account I'll go, because a lot of people have two accounts, two bank accounts. One account it will come, from that account it will disappear. Where it disappears, some other account it will go. World says, you transfer to any account, it will disappear from that account also. Do whatever you want with that 100 crores one day. What will you do? It's like one day chief minister. One day chief minister. I saw that movie, I said, but the interesting part is, in one day if he can do this much, that fellow becomes permanent chief minister, even then nothing happens in that country. After that he couldn't do anything. What is that? That is the nature of the world. What is this? Because of that nature, what my demand is not met by the world, but whatever is provided is also not going to be there with me till I enjoy it. Till I say enough. No, it will disappear. Then what happens now? He says, is this Anitya. Therefore, what you will be doing? There is a tremendous temptation you to rush into the world and grab it as much as possible. Resist that rushing in. That is the spiritual discipline. That is a spiritual path. For that, what is needed? What qualification is needed? He says qualification are not needed. All that demands is, are you interested in that? Do you want to do it? That is a question first. If you want to do it, qualifications are not needed. Oh. But what about people who are qualified also? Along with that, if a person is qualified also, then to him, reaching the final destination is much more easier. That's the next verse. This is the sequence. Okay, 32, 33, 34. And then you have to add 31. And then you have to add 30. Then you have to add 29. So 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. How he builds the idea. It's a slow construction. He constructs the whole thing and summarizes that in the last verse, 34. Verse 34 is the summary of the whole thing. Right. We'll see that in the next class.